In this video, I'm going to explain why you should meditate. Now, if you clicked on this video, that means that you have heard of meditation before and you have been wanting to try it but have never started, and you're watching this video because you want to start, or because you have tried meditating before in the past and you find it really boring, which it can be. You find it really boring and you think it takes too long and you don't really quite see the benefits of it. And whenever you do try meditating, you think that you are doing it wrong, and therefore you feel defeated and don't want to continue doing it. All of those reasons are valid. Those are the same things that I went through when I first started meditating. But if you know about the benefits that it provides, and if you know how to do it correctly, which I will explain later in this video, then you will want to do this every single day because it is really important for your overall health. So why should you meditate? I'm going to list some of the benefits of meditation, and then later in the video I will explain how to meditate correctly. All right, so here we go. For the physical benefits of meditation, you will improve your sleep. It is shown that for people who meditate often, their sleep quality is better and their time to fall asleep is shorter. So not only do they get into bed and they fall asleep shorter. So if it used to take them about, let's say, 45 minutes to fall asleep after their head hits the pillow, 45 minutes later on average, then they actually fall asleep. When you start meditating, you can cut that time down drastically. It can go from 45 minutes to fall asleep all the way to about 10 minutes. And you might think, oh, that's impossible. But it is not. Trust me. Because I used to be the same way too. I used to have such a hard time falling asleep. And not along with meditating, I would do different techniques to fall asleep faster, but meditating was the biggest factor as to why I would fall asleep faster. And I would just have a better quality night of sleep as well. Meditating also lowers your blood pressure. It improves your immune system, which also, just as a side note, a side tip, not washing your hands helps improve your immune system as well. So, and then lastly, for the physical benefits of meditating will help you reduce your substance use. So if you are addicted to alcohol or smoking, it will, in a sense, take the place of those addictions. We often look for an outlet because drugs, cigarettes, and alcohol, they are all a lot of the times a way for us to escape because we are feeling stressed, but meditation takes away that stress, which is leading me into the mental benefits of meditation. When you meditate, it reduces your stress and anxiety, and therefore you will not feel the need to have to drink or to have to smoke. This part of meditating I really like because it also improves your focus and attention. It is literally the opposite of what social media is. With social media, it is such a short gratification that we are gaining, right? We see a story and then we swipe up, and the story, we watch like 10 seconds of the story and then we swipe up because either we're bored or we got the most out of it that we can. Then we swipe on to the next thing. We are not focusing on one thing. We are constantly changing, leading our minds to a shorter and shorter attention span, which it shows. If you look at our attention span over like the past few decades, it has decreased tremendously because of social media. So with social media, you are literally going from one thing to another over and over again. But with meditating, you are literally focusing in on one thing for a certain amount of time. Like I said, it is the opposite of social media. It is the best way to fight off a poor attention span. You would be amazed about how impatient you actually are. When I first started meditating, I was like, okay, I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes straight. I'm just going to close my eyes and focus on my breathing and just meditate for 5 minutes. I was meditating and I was like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. And I was so bored and I wanted to get on my phone. I wanted to do something else. And so I was like, it's probably been about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So it would be good enough, you know? I looked at my timer and I thought it was going to be like a minute left. I still had 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. I was only meditating for 30 seconds and I got so bored. And those 30 seconds felt like 4 minutes in my mind because that's how poor my attention span was. And then lastly, for the mental benefits of meditating, it increases your self-awareness. You start to understand your thoughts better, your feelings, your behaviors, why you do certain things subconsciously. It helps you understand yourself better. So for a recap, meditating helps you in every aspect of your life. I'm telling you, all of these things that I just listed, there are still a lot more things that meditation helps you with, but these are just the main points that I wanted to show you. The things that stood out to me that helped me the most when I started to meditate. These are the things that improved drastically, and I knew that they came from me meditating. So with that all being said, you might now be willing to meditate, but you think that you are doing it wrong and you get defeated and you don't feel like doing it again. You have been meditating wrong your entire life. So I'm going to show you how to meditate correctly. And this isn't just my method of meditating. This is the actual way to meditate. A lot of people have the idea, which I had this too when I first started meditating. They have the idea that when you start meditating and that when your focus breaks, when you start to think about random stuff or a certain memory comes up in your head, or you think about something you have to do later that day, you think, oh, well, I broke my focus, and so I lasted 20 seconds today, so tomorrow I'll try to beat it, or I'll try to go as long as I can again without it breaking. And then once your focus breaks, then you call it quits, and then you stop. That is not how to meditate at all. You are close to completing the meditation process, but you are not. You're missing one crucial step. So there are a couple different ways that you can meditate, but I think the most common way is to just like sit and to focus on your breath or an idea or a quote or something that you learned earlier that day. That is what meditating is. You are focusing in on one specific thing. What that thing is can be whatever you want. But for me, I like to focus on my breathing. So when I'm meditating, I am breathing in through my nose and out through my nose. So I am focusing literally on my breath. I'm focusing on the sensation that I feel in my nose when I am breathing. So I feel the air coming in when I breathe, that little sensation, and then I deeply exhale and I feel the same breath leaving my body. I can feel that. And that is what I focus on when I am meditating. I don't focus in on anything else. That is literally all that I focus on. But for you, like I said, it can be a quote, it can be an idea. So then this is where the distraction comes into play. The distraction can be any number of things. It can be, like I said, a past memory or something that you have to do later today, something that you're stressed about having to do later in the week. What you are then going to do is you are going to notice that distraction. So let's just say that I'm meditating, I'm focusing on my breathing, and then something that I regret in the past comes up in my mind. And I start to focus in on that. And then thinking about it, I'm like replaying the memory in my head. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I broke my focus. I'm not meditating anymore. This is where most people would call it quits. They'd be like, okay, I lasted this long. Let's try again tomorrow. That is not what you are supposed to do. What you want to do is you want to acknowledge that you messed up, that your focus has shifted somewhere else, that you are not meditating anymore. All you have to do after that, after you notice that you get distracted, is to refocus, and that's it. That is all that meditating is. So, like I said, it's focusing on something. It's you getting distracted. It's you noticing that you get distracted, and then it is you refocusing. That is what meditating is. That is basically one rep. If you think about it in like working out terms, that is literally one rep. Your mind is getting stronger. Your attention span is getting stronger every single time you do one rep. And so this doesn't mean to follow this process over and over again, that you try to aim to get distracted while you are meditating. Your focus and goal is to focus in on one thing for as long as you can. But you are bound to break your focus eventually. Even those like Zen monks or whatever that you see in movies, even they break their meditation every once in a while. But the point is to not be defeated after that happens. Don't feel bad if your attention span breaks, if your focus shifts onto something else. What matters is that you notice it, that you are aware that you messed up, and then for you to refocus, to put all your mental energy back into that one thing, for me, the breathing. That is what matters when you are meditating. So now that you know how to meditate correctly, I want you to try to do this right now. Put down your phone, throw it away, throw it outside, throw it at your mom, whatever, and just get rid of it and start meditating. And when your focus breaks, remember to notice it, become aware of it, and then to refocus to what you were focusing on beforehand. If you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe and do all that shit. My name is Matthew, and I'll see you next time.